You are standing on the edge of the world. Not the end of the earth, but the beginning of the sky. Before you, the great sandstone pillars of Meteora rise from the Thessalian plain, like the frozen breath of giants. They are immense, ancient. They punch through the low-hanging clouds, disappearing into a realm where the earth tries to touch the heavens. It is the year 1344. The air is heavy. Electric. A storm is gathering in the valley, a swirling mass of indigo and charcoal clouds that tumble over one another, hungry for the stone. Breathe. Can you feel the charge in the air? It prickles against your skin, tiny needles of energy. The wind is picking up, whistling through the cracks in the rocks. It sounds like a flute played by a lonely spirit. You are here on a mission. In your hands, you hold an object. It is a small lantern made of glass so thin it feels like a bubble of soap. Inside, a tiny flame flickers, terrified of the wind. This lantern is your vulnerability. It is every worry, every fragility, every feeling of being small in a world that is too big. Your task is simple, yet terrifying. You must carry this fragile light to the very top of the highest pillar, to the great Meteoron monastery before the storm breaks. You are not just a traveler today. You are a guardian of the flame. Feel the weight of the lantern. It is light, yet it feels heavy with significance. The wind tugs at your clothes. The first drop of rain hits your cheek. Cold, sharp, a warning. The journey upwards seems impossible. The cliffs are sheer vertical walls. But you are not climbing alone. You are waiting for your vessel. Look up. Descending from the mist, something miraculous appears. It is not a basket woven of wood or iron. It is a sky cradle. This vessel is woven from ancient vines, thick as your arm, and lined with living, luminous moss. It glows with a soft, bioluminescent green light, pulsating gently like a slow heartbeat. It floats, suspended not by ropes, but by a hum. A low, resonant frequency that seems to push against the gravity of the earth. The cradle settles silently on the ground before you. The vines part, creating an opening. Step inside. The moment you cross the threshold, The howling wind vanishes. Inside, it is warm. The floor is thick with sheep's wool, deep and soft. The walls of moss absorb all sound, creating a cocoon of absolute stillness. Settle down into the wool. Lie back. The ceiling of the cradle is made of thin sheets of transparent crystal, a window to the chaotic sky above. You are safe here. In this era, the monks of Meteora seek isolation. They build their homes on these pillars to separate themselves from the turmoil of the collapsing empire below. They create spaces where the noise of the world cannot reach them. Feel that separation now. Outside, the storm is raging. You can see the lightning flash through the crystal roof. A silent explosion of white veins. But you cannot hear the thunder. You only feel a gentle vibration in the moss, a lullaby rocking you. The cradle begins to lift. Smoothly. Effortlessly. You are floating upward. The ground falls away. The sensation is not of flying, but of being held. Being carried. Like a child in the arms of a giant. As you ascend, you drift past the sheer face of the sandstone. Before stairs were cut into the rock, the only way to reach the monasteries was by a net. A simple rope net attached to a winch, pulled up by the monks above. It was a terrifying act of surrender. Visitors would ask, "When do you replace the rope?" And the monks would answer, "Only when it breaks." Imagine that rope now. Not as a thread that might snap, but as a connection that cannot be severed. Your sky cradle follows the path of those ancient nets. You are rising parallel to the cliff. Look out through the crystal. The rock face is inches away. See the texture of the stone? It is a conglomerate. Millions of river stones, pebbles, and sand pressed together over millions of years. It is a mosaic of time. The wind outside is fierce now. You can see the clouds swirling around the cradle, gray mist licking at the crystal windows. The cradle sways gently. Left, right. Do not resist the sway. In your life, you often fight the movement. You plant your feet and try to stand rigid against the winds of change. You think strength means being immovable. But here, in the storm, rigidity is dangerous. To be rigid is to break. Let your body mimic the cradle. Soften your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Let your breath sway with the vessel. Listen to the movement. The sway has a color. It is a deep, oceanic blue. It tastes like salt and rain. You are halfway up the pillar. Below you is the abyss, swallowed by fog. Above you is the destination, hidden in clouds. You are in the in-between. This is the place of greatest vulnerability. You have no control over the ascent. And yet you are rising. You realize that vulnerability is not a weakness. It is simply the state of being open. The net must have holes to catch the wind. The soil must be broken to receive the seed. You must be open to be lifted. The cradle passes through a thick layer of cloud. For a moment, everything is white. a white silence. You are being washed. Suddenly, you break through. The cradle gently touches down on a stone platform. The vines retract. The air here is thin and crisp. You step out. You are at the top of the great Meteora. The storm is below you now. You are standing above the clouds on an island of rock, floating in a sea of grey turmoil. A figure is waiting for you. It is the sage. A monk in a dark robe, his face hidden by a hood, but his presence feels like an old friend. He is Saint Athanasios. He does not speak with words. He teaches the practice of hesychasm, the pursuit of divine quietness. The hesychasts believe that by quieting the body and mind, one can see the uncreated light, the energy of the source itself. The sage gestures for you to follow him. He leads you into the Catholicon, the main church. It is dim inside. The air smells of beeswax, candles, and ancient incense. A scent of earth and pine. The walls are covered in frescoes, painted saints with eyes that look into your soul. You sit on a wooden bench. The sage sits beside you. He points to the lantern you are still holding. The flame is steady. You carried this through the storm. His voice echoes in your mind, sounding like wind through dry leaves. You thought the glass protected the flame. But it was your focus that protected it. He places a hand on your chest. The storm is not the enemy. The storm is just the weather. The silence is not the absence of noise. It is the presence of the self. They say an eagle carried Athanasios to this peak. But now you understand. The eagle was not a bird. The eagle was his spirit, untethered by fear, rising on the updrafts of faith. Close your eyes in the dim light. Feel the silence of the mountain entering your bones. It is a heavy, grounding silence. It anchors you. The anxiety of the empire below, the wars, the uncertainty, they are just clouds. You are the rock. Time passes. Or perhaps time stops. When you open your eyes, the sage is gone. You walk back out to the terrace. The storm has vanished. The sky has been scrubbed clean. It is a deep velvet black, scattered with diamonds. The Milky Way arches over the valley like a bridge of light. The moon is full and bright, casting a silver glow on the wet sandstone. The puddles on the rock reflect the stars, so it looks like you are walking on the sky. You have walked a long way, traveler. You have collected fragments from the desert, from the ocean, from the forest. Now, look at the altar stone near the edge of the cliff. There is something resting there for you. It is your puzzle piece. Walk to it. Pick it up. It is a shard of petrified wood. It feels cool and smooth, heavy as stone, but with the grain of an ancient tree. It is wood that turned to stone under pressure. It is organic life that became eternal strength. This fragment represents resilience through vulnerability. It reminds you that the softest part of you, when exposed to the pressure of life, does not die. It transforms. It becomes something unbreakable. Hold the stone to your heart. Feel it click into place within you. A new warmth spreads through your chest. The hole where your fear used to live is now filled with this solid, grounding presence. You are the storm, and you are the silence. You are the glass, and you are the flame. The journey continues, but for tonight, you are home. The moon watches over you. The stone holds you. the stars sing to you. Drift. Float. Rest. Good night.